Yeah.
Okay, we're learning the Sikha of B'chukaisai in Chelik Zayin, the first Sikha, on page 191, Se'iv Dalet. Okay, so a kitzur of what the Rebbe said in Sikha until this point. It's based on the pasuk where it says, V'ishbati chai ra min ha'aretz, the bracha and nevuah regarding Lasad Lavai, and the machlek is between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Yehuda says what it means is ma'viran min ha'olam. V'ishbati means literally, Lasad Lavai, there won't be any wild beasts at all. Rabbi Shimon mashbishin shelo yizuko, that they're not going to harm anybody. Okay, now, the Rebbe asked the question on Rabbi Yehuda's shitta, an obvious question. How could he say that mashbisim and oilam literally, if there are the psukim in Yeshaya where it says that regards Zev and Keves, that you'll have the Zev, you'll have a Keves, but lo yereyu v'lo yeshchisu. They're not going to harm, they're not going to destroy, but there'll be a Zev and there'll be a Keves. How could Rabbi Yehuda say mashbisan min oilam that'll be completely removed from the world? Okay, so that's the question that Rebbe now is going to answer in Sif Daled based on what we learned until here. Okay, let's continue inside. The Balt as the Pirish from Shvise, L'das Rabbi Yehuda is. So as explained here, what is the meaning of the word Shvise, which means to stop, to seize, according to Rabbi Yehuda? The bittul for the Etzem HaMetzias. What it means is that the very existence is taken away, or is stopped, or is nullified. The Rebbe explained it regarding Chometz, regarding the Malachos of Shabbos. Kumtachais, as in Pasuk, Vishbati Chai Ra min ha'aretz, when the Pasuk here says Vishbati, that the Eibusher says, I will get rid of, Shteit befedish. So according to him, it clearly means, as Lasadav is battle werden, the Mitzias from Chayis Ras. That's what the word Vishbati means. There's no other way to interpret this. Just like by Tashbisu and Shvisa on Shabbos, it means to get rid of completely. So here, that's the Piddush. There's no other way to explain it. And the Rebbe can it learn in Mashbis and Shleiziko. He can't explain that it just means that one aspect of the existence of the animals, their nature of harming will be gone. And so in other words, this is the Kudya that Rebbe is saying, that it's based on the way Rabbi Yehuda teaches this word in other places. This is always the pshat of this word. So when we come to this word, it means the same like everywhere else in the Torah, that it's clearly, there's one Piddush, no Metzias anymore. Trotzdem, was es steht, v'gar zevim keves kaimen. You're going to ask a question, but there's another pasuk where it says that the wolf will lie with the lamb. On muz learning, but it doesn't matter. But nevertheless, according to him, over here in this pasuk, it still must mean ma'vira min ha'olam, that these animals will be eradicated from the world. Das was in pasuk steht fort befeidish v'gar zevim keves kaimen. The fact that in another pasuk it clearly says that the wolf and the lamb, so the wolf will exist, as well in Yezai Chayis Rois Lasad Lavai, that the wild beasts will exist after Mashiach comes, nor ze will nit mazik sein, they won't harm. Muzman lernen ledas Rabbi Yehuda, we must say, according to Rabbi Yehuda's opinion, as die zwei psukim reden wegen zwei besondere Zmanim. They're speaking about two different time periods after Mashiach comes. Früher wird sein, v'gar zevim keves kaimer. First will be the fulfillment of what the pasuk says, that the wolf's nature will change and he'll lie with the lamb, he won't harm. Then we come to an even greater revelation and a greater level, as this battle the Mitzias, Achayis, Rois, Legamri min ha'olam, when the existence of these wild beasts in the world will be totally eradicated. That's the answer for the contradiction of these two psukim. Now again, so yeah.
How can we see like the Rambam?
Yeah, nations will sit with each other. It's a powerful nation.
That it's just a mashal. That the whole thing is just a mashal.
It showed the Rambam will hold according to the Shimon.
Yeah, in the beginning that Rebbe brought here from the Rambam, that the Gar Zev and Kevis is only a mashal, right? Yeah.
You see, he's saying pasuk literally.
Yeah. Right, so we had over here before, the Rebbe basically explained in the Order 5. Your answer, the Rebbe discusses this, right? In Order 5, the Rebbe bavarens that. I think the Rebbe says the point that you were saying. I didn't hear you clearly what you were saying, but basically what the Rebbe explained in Order 5 is that if Rabbi Yehuda learns Mavira min ha'olam regarding Vishbati, that it means Kipshutai, So then Vigar Zevim Keves also is Kipshute. According to the Rambam, just like Vigar Zevim Keves refers to Goyim and not to the animals, Vishbati also doesn't have to refer Dafka to the animals. Yeah, they're both a mashal.
You can't say one person a mashal, one person.
Correct.
You can't, okay, fine.
Yeah. So therefore, you have to say that it's going to be two different tkufis after Mashiach comes. Why would Rabbi Yehuda make such a deichik? If you have a clear pasuk that says that there's going to be the Chayis Ras Love, so then just taich vishbati, that it doesn't mean kipshutai. But Hayais Rabbi Yehuda sees in other places in the Torah where the same meaning of shvise and tashbisu means kipshutai, so it has to mean kipshutai. So we have to say this deichik pshat that it's going to be two tkufis Lasad Love according to Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, now in Tzifei, the Rebbe is going to come back to address the question that the Rebbe asked before in Reb Shimon's Shitta. Reb Shimon says, Mashbison Shalo Yizaiku. And in the Rebbe brought in the beginning from the Teiris Kayanim that what's the raya that Reb Shimon brings to his Shitta. So the lashon of the Teiris Kayanim is V'cheinu Aimer Mizmoy Shir L'Yoyim HaShabbos L'Mashbis Mazikim Enoi L'Mashbison Shalo Yaziku. That from the pasuk of Mizmoy Shir L'Yoyim HaShabbos, that's the raya to Reb Shimon that the animals are going to exist, but they won't harm. So the question that Rebbe asked is, what's the raya from this pasuk? According to Rabbi Yehuda, Mizmor Shel Yom Shabbos means that they'll be eradicated completely. Why is this pasuk a raya dafke to Reb Shimon Shitta? Okay, so the Rebbe will explain this and give an answer to this with a big. Here comes one of the Ikke points in the big arichas here in the Sikha, and this is where the Rebbe begins discussing how this Inyan is brought in the end of Masechta Talmud. Al Pianal that Noach verstehen der Reihe was the Teiris Kain and bringt zu das Rab Shimon von Pasuk Mizmor Shel Yom Shabbos. Now we could explain what exactly is the proof from the Pasuk of Mizmor Shel Yom Shabbos to Rab Shimon's opinion that the animals, their nature will change, they won't be mazik. In Saf Masechta Talmud, Rechen Tereis Hashir Shoya Levim Maimer BeMikdash. It goes through the different songs that the Levim sang every day in the Beis HaMikdash. In Yad Tag from the Yemei Shvuah, and each day of the week it was different, like what we say today. B'yom Rishon hayu oimrim, L'Hashem Maretz Maloya Tevel v'Yeshveva. B'Sheni hayu oimrim, God L'Hashem U'Meholo Moed v'Chulu. B'Shabbos hayu oimrim, and then the Gemara goes on to say every single day of the week which mizmor they will say, and what as we say today in the Shir Shel Yain. And then B'Shabbos they would say hayu oimrim mizmor shir l'Yom HaShabbos. The one that is mefarish, the Mishnah there says. What does this mean? Mizmor shir la'asad lavai. This Mizmor shel Yom Shabbos refers to the shir that Yidden are going to sing la'asad lavai l'yom shekuloi Shabbos menucha l'chai lamim. When it will be a time of the ultimate and full rest forever. That's the shir that they said on Shabbos. Azoi steht in the Mishnah. That's the way the Mishnah explains the Mizmor shel Yom Shabbos. Aber in Braise, but then there's a Braise is the aplukte wegen them. There's an argument about what was the meaning of the Mizmor Shel Yom Shabbos that they said on Shabbos. Rabbi Yehuda Aimre Mishum Rabbi Akiva B'Shvi Aimre Mizmor Shel Yom Shabbos, like we just learned, like it says in the Mishnah, which is L'Yom Shekulei Shabbos. That it goes in Lasad Lavi when it'll be always Shabbos. Amar Rab Nechemya. So this Rab Nechemya asks and says, Ma Ro Chachamim L'Chalek Ben Aprakam Alalu. What did Chachamim see that there's a distinction here between these prakim, meaning the mizmor that's said every day of the week, and the mizmor that's said on Shabbos? What exactly is the question of Nechemya? Taich Rashi. So Rashi explains the question. Shekol sheishis yomim, the other 6 days of the week. Namaran aprakam alalu al shem she'ovar. So the Levium sang, they were praising the Eibishter on what happened in the past. Hashem Maretzim Maloya, Gadol Hashem Hulul Meyod, and so on. It's all praising the Eibishter for what already exists. V'shel Shabbos al shel haba. So why dafke al shem haba? Why dafke Shabbos is it different? That the mizmor is for the future, from when Mashiach comes. Und the Pfarrer lernt Rab Nechemya. So therefore, Rab Nechemya says that b'shvi al shem sheshavas. That on Shabbos, when they say mizmor liyam Shabbos, it's also going on the past. It's going on Sheshes Mebereishis, the day that the Eibishter rested. As ich b'yam Shabbos, hat man gesagt al shem she'avar, on what was in the past. While the Pirish from Mizmor Shel Yom Shabbos, the meaning of the Mizmor, they said, is nicht L'Yom Shekulei Shabbos, was wird sein Lasad Lavai, nor Al Shem Sheshavas, was the Eibishter hat Shevis given b'Shabbos Bereishis. It's referring to this, that the Eibishter rested when he created the world, on the first Shabbos of creation. That's the Machlokes in the Gemara. Now the Gemara goes on and explains. Then the Gemara says, what's the explanation of the argument between Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Nechemia, whether Mizmor Shil Yom Shabbos goes on Sheshes Shemei Bereishis or goes on La'asad Lavei? So the Gemara says, "V'kamiflagi b'derav Katina." They're arguing in the point that Rav Katina said. Rav Katina said, "Shita al fishni havi alma." The world exists for 6,000 years. V'chad charuv, then there'll be another 1,000, the seventh millennium. Then will be charuv, the world will be destroyed. Abaye Omar terei charuv. There's going to be two, the seventh millennium and the eighth millennium. Two of those of the 1,000 years will be charuv, will be destroyed. Okay, now what exactly the piddush of charuv means? So there's a Maramakim here with the Maimonim and Chassidus, where it says that charuv doesn't literally mean charuv or destruction, but charuv means that there won't be a Metzias, there won't be a Yeshus, the world will not exist the way it is today, there'll be a Gilui Elokus. That's basically what it's referring to. Okay, but you have here this machlokes, whether this concept of charuv, this condition of the world being on this level of charuv, will be for 1,000 years or for 2,000 years. So now, based on this, the Gemara says, as a machlokes from Rabbi Yehuda,
What's the after that 1,000 years? After the 1,000?
That's a good question. Yeah. So now the Gemara says, as a machlokes from Rabbi Yehuda, Mishum Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Nechemia. So what's the argument here between Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Nechemia regarding the Mizmor Shil Yom Shabbos? It's totally in the plukte von Rav Katina mit Abaye. It depended on this argument here between Rav Katina and Abaye, whether it'll be chat charov or trei charov. How? Loitas Rav Katina as la'asad lavei vet zayin chat charov. If you say that when Moshiach comes, it's only going to be for 1,000 years that the world will be in this condition of charov. Kamen lernen as Mizmor Shil Yom Shabbos meant l'yom shekol Shabbos. So then that's what yom means. The word yom is singular. One day. What's that one day? The one day refers to when the nature of the world and the existence of the world is charov. So Shabbos, when we say here Yom Shekul Shabbos, and we say Chad Charov, it's the same inyan. It's the same. The fact that the nature of the world does not function the way it is, and the whole world gets elevated into a Shabbos-dige state of being, that's the Chad Charov. And therefore he says it goes on L'asad Lavei. But Abaye that says that this condition of the world will be for 2,000 years. So Kevin Zagan as Mizmor Shil Yom Shabbos gate of L'asad Lavei. So when it says Mizmor Shil Yom Shabbos, that's not referring to L'asad Lavei. Yom Shabbos, when it says Yom Lashon Yachid, is the Lashon Yachid and L'asad Lavei vet zayin terei charov. So these two things don't go together. So you can't say that Mizmor Shil Yom Shabbos is on L'asad Lavei. If he said, Darf Mizogin, as L'yom HaShabbos meant, Al Shem Sheshavas. Therefore, Rabbi Nechemia says that it refers to what the Yidden are praising, that Leviim sing, they praise the Eibishter for the past, that the Eibishter rested by Sheshes Shemei Bereishis. That's the explanation that the Gemara gives for this argument here between Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Nechemia.
Does it help to say the past?
1 second.
According to Rabbi Nechemia, he's saying that our job is the 400 category of Eidos. So we're bearing Eidos on what? On Sheshes Shemei Bereishis, on the original.
What do you mean by when you say Eidos? What do you mean by Eidos?
The category, 3 categories of Torah. What's it? Mishpatim, Eidos. So the 400 category of Eidos. So we are witness to what to what happened.
To what happened? Yeah. To what?
That's where the whole mitzvah of Shabbos comes from.
Yeah. Zeichel to the Zeichel Ma'aseh Bereishis, correct? Yeah.
So the question is, why is Rabbi Akiva jumping ahead all the way into the future?
That was the question that Rav Nachman asked, correct? But now here the Gemara is saying that what the machlokes is really based on is another point. Whether is it even possible to say that Yom Lashon Yachid would refer to L'asad Lavei? If it's going to be Terei Charov, so then this pasuk of Yom HaShabbos Lashon Yachid cannot be referring to L'asad Lavei. Okay, so now that Rabbi asks a simple question here, is da nit move on? And what the Gemara says here, there's the following question. Rav Nachman, not Rav Nachman, Rav Nechemia. Rav Nechemia allein zoktach beferish. Rav Nechemia explains the basis of his opinion. As zayin tam mitzad vaser is chaylik of Rabbi Yehuda mishum Rabbi Akiva. the reason why he argued in Rabbi Akiva is Val ma ro chachamim l'chalik ben haprokam alolim. He himself explains why would there be a distinction? Why all days of the week praise the Eibishter for the past, and here on Shabbos they're singing about Lasad Lavi. That was his argument. So in other words, what's the machlokes between Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Nechemia? Should we say that Shabbos is different? That there's a shira on La'asid, or not? In other words, are we thanking and praising and singing to the Eibishter for what he promised for the future? Or maybe not. It has to be similar to the rest of the week that we're singing about the past. That's the machlokes. Hein wie sagt the Gemara an anderer Tam? So why is the Gemara saying, we come miflagi b'derav ketina? That there's another reason why, and another thing that the machlokes is based on. Why would we say it's based on that? Maybe everybody agrees that it's going to be chad charov. You could say this mizmar and Yom HaShabbos lost the but still Rabbi Nechemia is arguing that there's no reason to make a distinction between every day of the week and Shabbos. That's what it seems the pshat to be. So why is the Gemara offering here a new pshat? Okay, so now the Rebbe says it's not just the fact that he offers a new pshat, but it sort of is a shtickle contradiction here. The kasha is noch starker, the question becomes even stronger. When Rabbi Nechemia says, Ma ro chachamim l'chalek, why are chachamim making a distinction here? Why are we singing every day of the week for the past? And on Shabbos, we're singing for the future. Is the chlachayra move on? So from this itself is understood as a fila oib mizal onem evir av ketina, as is v'tzayin chad charov. Even if we will follow Rav Ketina's opinion, that it'll only be one millennium that it'll be charov, so then it could work with the lashon of Yom HaShabbos. Dafar oich zogin al shem sheshavas. But nevertheless, he says, but for a different reason. The Levium sang for the past, like every day of the week. So hein vi sagt the Gemara. So then how does the Gemara say that a komiflagi with Rav Ketina? What's the basis of the Gemara to say that he's arguing with Rav Ketina as the time for Rav Nechemia is Valahalt via Abaye, that the only basis of what Rav Nechemia says is because he holds like Abaye that it doesn't fit into Yom, because it's going to be Terei Charov. Aber wenn wollt gehalten wie Rav Ketina, but if he would hold like Rav Ketina, that means wollte heute gewinnen. The Das Rabbi Yehuda Mishum Rabbi Akiva in Pirish from the Yom Shekol Shabbos. Then he would agree to Rabbi Akiva that the Yom Shekol Shabbos would be regarding the future. But according to what the Gemara says before, that's not true. Even if you would agree to Rav Ketina that it's referring to just one day or 1,000 years, it's still not enough of a reason that you should say it on the future, because the shira has to be for the past. That's the question over here.
Nechemia says for the past. It has to be. Yeah,
Nechemia says that the shira has to be for the past. So if that's the case, it doesn't make a difference if he holds like Abaye, if he holds like Rav Ketina, it doesn't make a difference. Even if it stims, even if you could fit it into Yom Shekul Shabbos, but the shira has to be for the past. So the Gemara here is putting together two things that there's no reason for the Gemara to do this. Muzman Zagin. Okay, so here the Rebbe says the point that we must say, and we'll see the explanation next week. So now what we must say is as follows. As miflagi b'derav ketina. When the Gemara says that Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Nechemia, that their argument is based on what Rav Ketina said, meant the Gemara, what the Gemara means to say by this is nit zu sagen an ander time of the plukte von Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Nechemia. The Gemara is not coming up with an additional explanation here for their argument. Nor zu mevayer sein, the svares von Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Nechemia versteht in the Braise. This is actually an explanation for what the Gemara says in the Braise, what they're arguing about. And it goes as follows. As those, was Rabbi Nechemia is machriach mitzad kasha maro chacham l'chalek. When Rabbi Nechemia gives the reason that it makes sense to say that just like every day of the week, the shira is in the past, so there's no reason to make any distinction that on Shabbos it's also in the past. As miz mashil yom Shabbos meant nit liyom shekol Shabbos. So therefore, it does not refer to the future yom shekol Shabbos. When Rabbi Yehuda mishum Rabbi Akiva halt nit fun der kasha. And for some reason, Rabbi Akiva does not accept this question. Rabbi Akiva says, no, Shabbos is different. True, every day of the week we're singing for the past, but on Shabbos, we say, the Levium say the shira for the future. Why Taka did Rabbi Akiva not hold this as a question? Yeah, so Taka de Brais already explains the machlokes. Is it a shira for the past or for the future? But then the Gemara comes along and adds and explains what's the basis of this machlokes itself. Is as vile, the basis of this machlokes itself is because Rabbi Akiva halt Chad Charov and Rabbi Nechemia halt Trei Charov. So in other words, basically, Rabbi Akiva never answered the argument of Rabbi Nechemia. Rabbi Chaim is pointing out that you're making a chiluk between every day of the week and Shabbos. It never said what does Rabbi Kiva answer to that. Doesn't care about this chiluk. And if he doesn't care, if it doesn't matter, so why, according to Rabbi Chaim, is it such a big deal? Is it a big deal that you're making the shira for the future, even though the rest is for the past? Is it not a big? What's the basis of this argument? It comes to Gemara and says this gufa, whether it matters to change the shira on Shabbos from every day of the week, is based on what is this shira of the Yom Shekol Shabbos? Is it Chat Charov or Trei Charov? Is it going to be 1,000 years or 2,000 years? Now, what's the connection? What might have come in the length of time, whether it's 1,000 years or 2,000 years, whether the shira on Shabbos is la'asid or the shira on the Shabbos is la'avar. What's the hesba for this? Okay, so that's going to be the explanation here. And the Sikha, the Rebbe will explain this by Riches Gedayla here, as we'll see.
Wait, this Gemara is not even in Talmud. It's in Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah, this detail, true. It's a Mishnah at the end of Talmud, but this whole Inyan here is not at the end of Talmud, correct? It's in the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah. Yeah.
You ever heard that Moshiach Shiur and Chris Mason will be before Elif Hashvi?
Chis HaMesim or Yom Mashiach? It's two different things.
Both, or at least that's
Yom Mashiach, definitely. It could be, or should be, or will be before.
No, but it has to be finished by before the next.
Including Chis HaMesim as well. It has to be concluded.
Summary from
before.
It brings from.
It says
yeah.
that both things have to be before Hashvi.
Yeah.
Because Elif Hashvi is Chat Charov.
I know he brings from the Marmar Kemis there.
So let's see what it says in the Tanya.
Since about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to have it here. You have Tanya Chizvaris there? On the middle,
on the right hand side. You take Tanya right on the right.
No.
Right.
Yeah, let's see.
Right.
Let me see.
Right shelf. Yeah. These from here from the Noida.
7:45.
From the Noida, where's the Hakar?
The Noida is Shemesim Shech Praktish Yam Mesim and Tachlis
We don't have up to there.
Shleimus Bris Elam Haza Shlekach Nivra B'Tchilasai Kabbalah Schar Ikre B'Elef Hashvi Mishkasa L'Kazeter Marizal. So it's mashma that the Elef Hashvi is already after.
The Jud Kufas will be before Elef Hashvi.
I don't know how it's mashma there. I didn't see it in the words.
Put it together, right? There's a kind of mashma.
No. Ken Zain, right here.
So how many?
I'll
What's
send
the
it
age
to
you're waiting for? How many years does the first Mikdash stand for? First Mikdash.
410.
410. And then we have less than 410 for this Jud Kufas. What's going on here?
Yeah, there's only 215 years left.
What's he waiting for? This is a Tachas HaKavana at the